Good move. Thank you, and I'm really, really proud that you've got a local family making the investment downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamarca. Additional comments from residents on agenda items only. Seeing no one else rushing to the podium, we will move to the highlight of our meeting today. We have the privilege of honoring a longtime city resident who served this city and continues to serve the city in a variety of capacities throughout his entire lifetime, Reverend Thomas Darden. I've asked Commissioner Murray to conduct the ceremony, as Commissioner Murray, his entire family, and the Darden family have had a close personal relationship for years. Mr. Murray, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Reverend Darden, would you mind joining me up here? And anyone, if there's anyone else that you would like to have join you, they would be welcome to help you. We've known each other for a long time. Our families have known each other for a long time. And so I'm delighted that Mayor Brader gave me the opportunity to present the key to you tonight. I have just a little bit that I want to say. I'm a lawyer, so you expect something, right? It would truly be a fool's errand to attempt to summarize the rich, long, and varied experiences of a man such as Reverend Thomas Darden. I could read you a long list of his educational, ecclesiastical, philanthropic, family, and community contributions, and your eyes would glaze over. But still, a few highlights should be noted tonight. A proud graduate of Sandusky High School. Service on the first Sandusky Human Relations Commission. 14 years as an Ohio school athletic official. 8 years on the city commission, including 3 as mayor. 39 or 40 years on Sandusky Cemetery Board. I was trying to nail that down today, and I wasn't sure if I had the right number. Is it 40?
Yes, right.
Well, okay, good. The Community Service Award from the Ohio Civil Rights Commission was honored as an inductee into the Erie County Chamber of Commerce Gallery of Achievers. And probably the longest serving preacher the state of Ohio has ever known. But I will foolishly accept the challenge with which I started and summarize Reverend Darden in this way, as a true friend of the city of Sandusky. Beyond his many years of service, Reverend Darden has always been available to his fellow citizens to offer advice, chastisement when necessary, and support and praise when appropriate. The chastisement comes in private, just so you know that, and it's appreciated when it's given. He has served generations as an example of how to conduct oneself with purpose yet dignity, challenging what must be challenged, but always with the respect and humility rooted in the knowledge that our fellow citizens have varied experiences which inform us in different ways. Reverend Darden cultivated a God-given gift to bridge these differences by helping all see past their own limitation and catching a glimpse of what lies in the hearts and minds of others. So in honor of Reverend Darden's steadfast friendship to the city of Sandusky, we are proud to claim him as one of the best public servants, citizens, volunteers, and yes, friends that Sandusky has ever known, and to confer upon him our highest honor by presenting him with this key to the city of Sandusky. So, I don't know if you have your reading glasses on, or I'll read it out. I'll read it.
They're foggy anyway.
Okay, all right. This key to the city of Sandusky is presented to Reverend Thomas E. Darden this 22nd day of May, 2023, in honor of his unwavering dedication and commitment to the Sandusky community by his service as a city commissioner and on many city boards. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you. First, I would like to say thank you. I don't have words to describe how I feel right now, but I can tell you this, I'm probably the most embarrassed person in the city, because what have I done to earn such a distinguished award such as this? I'm humbled, and yes, my reading glasses are foggy, and I just don't have words to say other than Sandusky has been my home. To get into a little ancient history, born in Sandusky, 1929, but I was reared in Georgia during the Depression, came back to Sandusky High School, graduated, been in Sandusky ever since. Not able to follow the action of the city commission as I would love to, but I see such wonderful things being done in Sandusky and planned for Sandusky that there's no place at all that I would decide I would want to make my home other than Sandusky. There's one place, and this is my niece with me, and I know she's probably heard me say it many, many, many times. I have no desire to visit any place out of the country. There is so much in this country to see and to visit rather than spend your time and money going out of the country. But the one place that I would love to go is Mount Rushmore, and I've been reading history on that, and I'm still amazed by it. And second to Mount Rushmore is Sandusky. I saw the hotel that we're gonna have in the future, and so many things, and I could go on and just talk about the good things of Sandusky. Oh, yes, I know there's some things that are sort of unkind, but we'll overcome those things. And this, I shall cherish it as long as life is permitted to. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I don't know who supplied it.
I think we made history tonight. We've had a few standing ovations in this chamber, but I don't believe we've ever had 3 standing ovations. So Reverend Darden has set history again. Commissioners, you have before you several communications from staff recommending various pieces of legislation. Can I have a motion to accept these communications?
So moved. Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion. Without objection, the motion will be approved, and hearing no objection, that motion is approved. Commissioners, we have 5 items on the consent agenda this evening. Prior to the consent agenda, we're going to have a proclamation by Commissioner Harris on our click it and ticket.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas the Memorial Day holiday weekend approaches and summer seems around the corner, an increased number of drivers will be traveling, and the safety and the security of the citizens of the city of Sandusky and the surrounding areas are vitally important. And whereas the 2022 seatbelt use rate was 91.6%, but we can certainly do better. And whereas in 2021, there were 11,813 unbuckled passenger vehicle occupants killed in crashes. And whereas regular seatbelt use is the single most effective way to reduce injuries and fatalities in motor vehicle crashes, and is the best defense against impaired, aggressive, and distracted drivers. And whereas the use of seatbelts is supported by the laws of the city of Sandusky, and the Border to Border initiative will be a one-day national seatbelt awareness kickoff event coordinating highly visible seatbelt enforcement. And now therefore, we do hereby announce May 22nd through June 4th, 2023 as Click It or Ticket in the city of Sandusky, and urge all citizens to always wear seatbelts when driving and riding on our roadways. Dated the 22nd day of May 2023.
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, we have 5 items on the consent agenda this evening. Do any of you wish to move any consent items to the regular agenda? Ms. Myers, will you present the consent agenda, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Item A, liquor license for SNS Realty. Item B, enterprise zone tax abatement agreement for Firelands Credit Union. This is the second reading. Item C, software support renewal with Johnson Controls. Item D, wastewater treatment plant secondary digester 3 cleanout, change order 1 and final with Sinagro. Item E, 2022 West Monroe drainage change order number 1 and final with Ed Verdue.
Commissioners, having heard this liquor license and ordinances, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
I move for the adoption of this, or the passage of this motion and the adoption of these ordinances pursuant to Section 14 of the city's charter.
Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion. I will be abstaining from item B as the Firelands Federal Credit Union is a customer of a business that I am the owner of. Ms. Myers, will you call the roll on the motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray,
Yes, except abstain to items A and B.
Mr. Brady,
Yes, except abstaining from item B.
Mr. Pajali,
Yes.
Mr. Wantington.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Yes.
Now on the liquor permit and ordinances.
Mr. Murray,
Yes, except abstain as to items A and B.
Mr. Brady,
Yes, except abstaining on item B.
Mr. Pajali,
Yes.
Mr. Wantington.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Yes.
That liquor permit and ordinances are passed. Ms. Myers, will you present item number 1 on the regular agenda?
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed amending Part 1 Administrative Code, Title 9 Taxation, Chapter 195 Admissions Tax, Section 195.02 Definitions, 195.03 Admissions Tax Levied, and 195.05 Collection of Tax of the codified ordinance in a manner and way specifically set forth herein below.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance be passed at first reading.
Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, will you call the roll on that motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Brady.
Yes.
Mr. Pajali.
Yes.
Mr. Wantington.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Brady.
Yes.
Mr. Pajali.
Yes.
Mr. Waddington.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 2.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a fourth amendment to the sewer services agreement with Erie County and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Meinzer.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under Section 14 City Charter.
Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion.
Mr. Chairman.
It appears we've gotten this across the finish line. Mr. Pajali.
Mr. Chairman, I just kind of dovetailing on what I think you're about to say. I just wanted to note that all the hard work that you did and the commission and the staff and the county commissioners, I think this is a win for both of us, and a lot of hard work went into it, and I appreciate it.
Mr. Orzay.
Yeah, through the Commission President, Commissioners, and staff, we are very excited and encouraged by voting on this tonight. The Erie County Commissioners will be voting on the same addendum on Wednesday, and was definitely a lot of hard work with Director Klein, Michelle, Brendan, Mr. Brady. The agreement that, in resolution that the county passed is essentially, we've been made whole and paid for everything that was in that resolution. We received the $125,000 that was in that resolution as well. And we're very happy and pleased with the county commissioner and Hank Soloway for, helping us get this done. And I think it was definitely a betterment of the entire Sandusky and Erie County communities to have this agreement. And we don't have to have any disagreements over this major project. So it was a win for everybody and appreciate it.
Additional comments or questions, Commissioners? It's my hope that this really does allow us to turn the page on so many of issues that have been contentious between the city and the county. I guess history will judge us on what comes next, won't it? This is in the books, and this is one of those kind of situations, I think, where everybody won. We certainly got some good financial concessions. The county saved millions of dollars in interest, which means that county residents saved millions of dollars out of their pocketbooks. So I can't find a loser in here. And that's a rarity, I think, anymore. And I hope it proves that in government, there's usually a way to find the middle on something. And I think this set of commissioners, along with our staff, have found a way to find some middle ground and make this work. So I'm proud of all of your efforts. Mr. Warzak played a role in this. Mr. Bajali pushed this along. Michelle Reeder certainly played a role in it. Aaron Klein had a huge role in it in teaching us all how that sewer agreement works. So there are unnamed people that I'm sure I've forgotten in here. But our thanks goes to our entire staff, and our thanks go to the county commissioners also, because we didn't negotiate this in a vacuum. We negotiated it with the county commissioners. So thanks to everyone for their work. Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Wantington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Wantington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 3.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested that an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into an agreement for transportation services between the City of Sandusky and LMN Development, doing business as Kalahari Resorts and Convention Sandusky, for the period of January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Harris.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
A motion and a second discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Murray.
I'm pleased that we have 3 important pieces of legislation on the agenda tonight dealing with the Sandusky Transit System, and I'm very pleased that we have a start in the form of the recognition of some of our community partners of the need for everyone to make contributions to a service which is truly county-wide. I'm hopeful that will grow in additional years. We have a wonderful administrator now in the form of James Stacy, who's done a really good job for the city of Sandusky. Very competent, very thoughtful, very organized, and passionate. So that's much appreciated. A caution, the continued future of Sandusky Transit is not assured. We are running larger and larger deficits. It is necessary for us to have additional revenue sources. Whether those will be achieved or not, I don't know. We are in the process of taking a look at what the total economic contributions are of Sandusky Transit, and I have a pretty strong sense that we're going to find out that the loss of Sandusky Transit would be devastating to the local economy. And so I'm asking residents and office holders across Erie County and businesses across Erie County to recognize that transit is at the knife's edge right now. We'll continue through the end of this year. Where we go beyond that, it's hard to say. It is my ardent hope that that continues. This is such a necessary service that we provide to Erie County. But we do need to expand beyond the small revenue base that we have today. And we've been looking under every couch and every pillow. And Mr. Stacy's been finding a lot of those dimes and dollars, but the state and federal government are providing fewer and fewer of them, meaning that the burden shifts to local communities. So it's a good thing because there are more communities that are providing transit services, but it's about the same size pool that's being sliced into smaller and smaller pieces, so we're getting a smaller piece. So just a marker, great things happening now. Where we are a year from now, I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Additional comments or questions? As with most programs, when they're suffering in the government, when they're suffering from financial issues, the people that can least afford it are the ones that get hurt the worst. And I think that certainly is the case with this transit system. I think we all need to pay very close attention to the fact that this is not a luxury. Having a transit system is not a luxury. In any community, it is a necessity. Without this, a lot of people don't get to work. They don't get home. They don't get to medical appointments. They don't get to drugstores to buy their drugs. It can be a life and death situation. That's how serious this is. And the clock is ticking. I think we're going to continue to press the issue on finding a way to adequately, properly, and uniformly fund this program. The threat is out there of losing it, and it's not on my watch, I hope. So, to be continued. Additional comments, Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Joe?
I agree with your comments and Mr. Murray's comments. And again, I would just like to thank staff for being successful in passing the hat. Up to this point, we've had very little success, and you must have done something to make the magic work with this item and the next one. So, good work getting that done.
Thank you. As far as you poll the commission on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 4, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested a resolution be passed accepting financial assistance from the City of Vermillion, Huron Township, and Perkins Township for the operation of the Sandusky Transit System and declaring that this resolution shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the City Charter.
Commissioners, having heard this resolution, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the City Charter.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. I believe that Vermillion has participated in supporting this program for some time now. I believe that both Perkins and Huron Township are new to the equation. So certainly thank you to Vermillion for their continued support, and certainly thank you to Perkins and Huron Township for the beginning of their contribution. It's all going to count for something. It's all very meaningful. Additional comments or questions, Commissioner?
Mr. President, if I could just add.
Sure that.
I would just like to thank Perkins Township and Huron Township for jumping on board, as well as you mentioned Vermillion, and James Stacy and Colleen and Michelle. We heard the commission loud and clear when, you were pushing us to go to these communities and start the conversation. Additionally, Ms. Johnson has a lot of comments in this one. She pushed us, and so I want to really personally thank her. She made comments, went to a county commission meeting and got this ball rolling. So we're very grateful. We didn't twist too many arms, but we laid out our case, and those townships got on board this time. And I think it's a great first step. And to your point, we have ways to go, so we'll keep on that. But we really want to thank those, and Cedar Point and serving our seniors, the contributors that have been doing it for years. It's been a great success, so we appreciate that, everyone's support.
Additional comments, Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Poole?
we've been working on this for some time, and I did want to also recognize Sharon Johnson for her contribution, and also, as importantly, City Manager Orzak, since he's been on since he's been doing this, in this position for a short period of time, it has a lot of good things have been happening in the community with regard to folks working together and making some changes that are positive for the community. I did want to, so thank you for that. I appreciate your leadership. Additionally, just about the bus in general, yes, it's important for those folks for folks that need to get around to get things for themselves, but also for the rest of us. They represent the folks that work in the stores, work in the restaurants, that keep the businesses going, which is extremely important. And it's one of those things where the folks in the back of house you never miss until they're gone. And so, yes, there's a position here where we need to try and make this as economical as possible. But for all those people who ride the bus to get to whatever appointment they go to, the money they spend in those locate places or the money that they earn is all part of our economy. And so for those of you who own rental units and are looking for people to live in them, those people that ride the bus pay their rent with the money they get from that ride to get to where they're going. And we can get to the point where it's important where the bus isn't very expensive, but at the same time, if I have to take a cab, why do I bother going to work since all the money goes to the cab driver? I had an experience last night with a young woman who's visiting here. She's from the Dominican Republic, and she's in Port Clinton, and she was shopping for groceries here in town, at the local grocery store. It cost her $54 to get to the store before she could buy her groceries. Now, she's Dominican Republic and visiting here for the summer to some summer job in Port Clinton, I guess. But the point is, it's $108 round trip for 15 miles. If you're talking about people who live in America that know better, I'll just collect the free stuff. So it's probably important that we consider and bite the bullet and make sure that the buses keep running. Just my thoughts.
Additional comments, Commissioner? Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Wantington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the resolution.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Wantington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That resolution is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 5.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to expend funds for the purchase of 8 Cradle Point mobile routers and subscription licenses from Insight Public Sector of Tempo, Arizona, through the Equalis Group Cooperative Purchasing Program for the Sandusky Transit System, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
move for the adoption of this ordinance pursuant to Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 6, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Fairmount Properties, LLC, and North Coast Inns, Incorporated, for the potential redevelopment of the Jackson Street parking lot in Sandusky, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Been a motion and a second discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Harris.
I'd just like to say, bringing a hotel development to downtown Sandusky, certainly, a transformative addition. It obviously will enhance the city's appeal, not just to the tourist destination, but I think everyone around here. It not only, provides, accommodation options for visitors, but also brings several significant benefits to the local economy and community. With comfortable, and convenient lodging options, visitors will be more inclined to stay longer and explore the city and surrounding attractions. That being said, I just believe this increased foot traffic will lead to, greater spending on local businesses, including restaurants, shops, and entertainment venues, and thereby boosting, the local economy. So I'm just really excited, although this is a, series of many steps. I couldn't be any more excited about this project, and thanks again to the Longer family for betting on us. So,
Additional comments or questions, Commissioners? Ms. Gilson, I know that we all understand that an MOU is the first step in a very long journey. Thank you for getting this to this point. I know that you've been working on it for quite some time now, and first steps are always the toughest ones. I know the principals are in the audience tonight too, and do you have some comments to make, or would they like to make any statement or any comments? I want to give them an opportunity. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot with this stuff.
Thank you. Through the commission president to the commissioners, this is the first step in building a framework that will guide us through a development process and the creation of a development agreement. With us tonight is Randy Ruttenberg, principal with Fairmount Properties, as well as Leonard Longer and his business partners, which also happen to be many of his children from North Coast Inn. So gentlemen, if you have anything you'd like to add at this time, feel free. You can step to the podium. Otherwise, I'd love to have the support for this MOU.
How are you?
You can step to the podium and just give us your name and address so we put it in the record, and someone at some point in history will reread it, I'm sure.
Okay. Members of the commission, Randy Ruttenberg, 346 Briar Ridge Court, Westlake. Delighted to be here with the Longers. I've been watching the progress in Sandusky for a decade or more. Our company's based in Cleveland. We're about 30 people. I'm the CEO and founder of our company. We've executed about $2 billion worth of ground-up projects to date. About 31 of those, I'd say about 10 are in Ohio. So we're super excited about the opportunity to create something that's transformative. Downtown could not be more proud to be partners with this family, and they're our family. Most of them, I think, are here. A couple generations. We've got 6 hotels currently in other projects throughout the country. And these are some of the finest operators and people that we've had a chance to work with. We're excited to bring residential into this project and ground floor retail, which complements some of the existing stars that are already in Sandusky. We're excited about the State Theater expansion, and I think there's true potential to really create a world-class project here. So we couldn't be more proud. I want to thank Colleen and her team for helping us get to this point, and look forward to working with each of you as we hopefully move on to the next stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comments or questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, this is for Ms. Gilson. Thank you very much. I read all the proposals, and yes, it looks like a great project. I did just have one question. Between the proposal made by the developer at 76-room hotel and 470-space garage, we're doing a memorandum that talks about 120 rooms versus 300. That's a big discrepancy, and it changes a lot of things. What's the thinking going forward? Where we headed?
Yeah, through the commission president to the commissioners, the numbers that you cite, the 120 keys for hotel, as well as, I believe you said 300 for parking,
Yeah.
were part of the downtown master plan as proposed that what downtown could host. The proposal that was received, the 4 proposals that were received, the one from the Fairmount Group and from the Longers proposed what they thought could bring forward. So the first were a set of guidelines, if you will, and then the proposal put forward is what ranked highest.
So we're voting on, this memorandum is following their proposal? Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Additional comments or questions, Commissioners? Mr. Longer.
Excellent.
Floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and audience, fellow Sandusky people. I can't say how proud I am to stand here and what we're going to propose. 20 years ago, I would have never thought this was possible. And it's possible because of the work of people in this room that have worked on that, on the Shoreline Drive, have worked on the pier, have attracted all the restaurants that came down here. And you've heard this story from me before. I was on the pier 2 years ago, and I was at a concert there with 1,000 people. Everyone was having a good time, and I thought for a minute, I'm not in Sandusky, Ohio. I'm in maybe Savannah, Georgia, because I've been to those places and seen the activity and the vibrance, everyone having a good time. And I said, what you men have done have brought that to Sandusky, that vibe that's going on. And I come down here to the restaurants, they're excellent restaurants, and the shopping, and at the hotels, we're out there on 250, and there's a guy trying to get an Uber to come down here. Now, we've heard that over and over again. So, it all came together, and then we decided, well, we could put a nice hotel down here, and we're thankful and humbled that you people have chose us to do it. We know there's other people that want to do it, so we're happy that you chose us. And the brand that we're going to bring, the Hampton Inn, a lot of people say, what's going to happen in the wintertime, in February, March, when there's not much going on down here? Well, what we can tell you, the Hampton brand is going to bring people down here. They will come. They make their reservation with Hilton. It's the largest hotel chain. It has the most loyalty program. That loyalty program, they're going to come down. So we expect in the wintertime to have a pretty, it won't be like summer, but it's going to be a steady business. Sports Force has been a big part of our operation. That was another plus that you men have helped bring to this town. And that's a big shot in the arm for hotel people, for restaurants. Go out in 250 on Saturday, and it seems like it's the summertime. So we have a lot of things going for us, but we're really proud to be able to do this. When I was growing up here in Sandusky, went to St. Mary's High School, LaSalle store, Carol Crane, J.C. Penney, then there's a drugstore. Over here was Sears and Roebuck, post office on the corner, and it was a vibrant place. We used to buzz the Ave. I mean, Sandusky was the place to go. People from out of town used to come here to buzz the Ave, and all the stores and shops and restaurants. And you guys saw what happened when the mall came, it all kind of died out. But then now you guys have brought this back, and we're just proud to be a part of it. And a big part, we're hotel people. We operate hotels. And I'm very proud of my son, Gavin. I'm proud of my daughter, Natalie, and my other son, Ryan, and my other son, Drew Schaefer. He's married to my daughter. But they're going to continue long after I'm gone. And they've done such a good job. We've got several awards from different hotel companies, and we're very proud about how we operate. And for us, since we're just hotel people, we're very happy to be connected with Fairmount, with Randy, the gentleman that was just up here, because he has the expertise in putting together big developments. He has the expertise in garages. He's the one that could bring these restaurants down here. So we're happy that he's going to be able to do better the things that we're not, that's not our field. So I think that both of us together are going to put together a really nice project. And I'm happy, and I can't thank you all enough. And I'm going to stand here and promise you'll be happy with what you're going to see when this is done. You're going to say, is that in Sandusky? But we're really happy about it. So Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Longer.
Ryan Longer, 1011 Windermere Lane. I just wanted to say, I think the hotel in downtown Sandusky offers a unique experience for a couple of reasons. One, the close proximity to Cedar Point, the ability to take the Jet Express to and from, the fact that it's on the water, that, most hotels aren't on the water, that's going to offer a unique experience, and the fact that the downtown is a historical place, it's going to provide a different experience than, a hotel on a turnpike or something. So, plus all the restaurants and stuff, it's non-franchise, so it's just going to be an experience that most people that say hotels don't get, but possibly could here. So I just thought I'd like to point that out.
Thank you, Mr. Longer. Additional comments or questions, Commissioner? I can share with you that I think it was a couple of years ago that I engaged Mr. Longer on the pier, and he shared that story with me. And I must admit that you hear a lot of stories as a commissioner, a lot of hopes and a lot of dreams. My only question to you, Mr. Longer, is what took you so long? Seriously, my only disappointment in this whole project is that it is going to take a while. Things like this don't happen in a year. They probably don't happen in a couple of years. But as most things that are worthwhile, you have put a great team together. We're thrilled to be able to partner with a local operator. And it sounds like you've partnered with a true professional on the other side. So this is a combination that I think will be a winner for this city and a winner for the entire community as well as the region. So thanks for taking a chance on us too. Additional comments, Commissioners? Ms. Myers, will you call a roll on that motion?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the order.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 7, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and approving a grant in the amount of $15,000 through the Economic Development Fund Program to El Pino LLC, doing business as El Grand Patron Mexican Restaurant, in relation to the property located at 1007 West Perkins Avenue, Sandusky, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Harris.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
I must tell you, we had a meal at a funny hour yesterday because of a graduation. And so I was reading this a little bit later at night, and I came across this, and it was about 10 o'clock when I was reading this, and my stomach started to grumble. And my wife wanted to know why my stomach was grumbling. And I said, because this is one of my favorite restaurants in Sandusky. I'm reading about them and their project, and what a wonderful family it is to be able to support, who've invested so much of their blood, sweat, tears, and cash here in Sandusky, who run such a fine, upstanding organization, who are themselves such fine family people. And this is the kind of business in the South Side that we absolutely want to and must support in order to be able to make sure that the momentum that you heard about earlier tonight is radiated throughout the city. So I'm very happy to be able to support this legislation, and I'm very much grateful for the investment that the Enrique family is making in Sandusky. So thank you.
Additional comments, Commissioner? I checked with the law department at noon today to make sure that just because I eat there once a week, I don't have a conflict in voting for it, and they assured me I do not. That's a good thing.
Better tip better, though.
Yeah. Ms. Myers, you call a roll on the tip, please, or on the motion.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the resolution.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 8, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested a resolution be passed declaring the necessity for the city to proceed with the proposed 2023 Community Development Block Grant Street Rehabilitation Project, approving the specifications and engineer's estimate of cost thereof, and directing the city manager to advertise for and receive bids in relation thereto, and declaring that this resolution shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this resolution, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
I move for the adoption of this resolution under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the resolution.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That resolution is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 9, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a contract with JMJ Incorporated, doing business as Hula Construction of Castalia, Ohio, for the 2023 sidewalk repair and replacement project, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Meiser.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance and declare it takes immediate effect in full accordance with Section 14.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 10, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to expend funds to the STS Offerings LTD, doing business as osupplies.com of Sandusky, Ohio, for the purchase and installation of new shelving units for the evidence room at the Justice Center facility, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Harris.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 11, please.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to purchase 5 APX 900 Model 2 portable radios and accessories from Motorola Solutions Incorporated of Chicago, Illinois, through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Poole.
move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you poll the commission on that motion.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Pajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present item number 12.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a work site agreement with Ohio Means Jobs of Erie County for the Summer Youth Employment Program and the reimbursement of wages for the program participants, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
I move for the adoption of this ordinance pursuant to Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Ms. Myers, you poll the commission on that motion.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. Ms. Myers, you present the last item, number 13.
Yes, Mr. President. It is requested an ordinance be passed authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a services agreement with Great White North Communications Ltd. of Toronto, Ontario, for the services related to the 4th Annual Dragons and Bacon Festival for the Recreation Department, and declaring that this ordinance shall take immediate effect in accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Commissioners, having heard this ordinance, how do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner
I
Waddington.
move for the adoption of this ordinance under suspension of the rules in full accordance with Section 14 of the city charter.
Second.
A motion and a second discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
I want to thank Mr. Whirling for bringing this opportunity to us again. It sounds like a really odd event, Bacon's, or Dragon and Bacon's. We had a chance, my wife and I had a chance to observe it twice now, I think. And the teamwork that's involved with the teams that come together is really exciting and fun to watch. Some of these boats have the most hilarious catastrophes, too. So it's a little bit like watching one of those car races, because they do have some crashes that are pretty spectacular, but nobody gets hurt because they're all wearing life jackets. But the bacon entrees that are down there are just, you got to go for those. If you don't even go for watch the races, go to eat the bacon. It's really good. So I'm glad we brought this back. And at the end of the day, it's at no cost to the city. We're advancing the funds. We get reimbursed, and it's just a great opportunity for people to have fun.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
Mr. Meiser and I are looking for another alternate or possibly brag with us to enter this year. Would you be interested, Mr. Murray?
Which position am I going to have?
Mr. Meiser, myself, and you, you're included if you'd like to join us.
We need another 16 people or so.
Well, that's right. We got to start. Mike's got some.
I got the drum. Wow.
Let's see, I might be available.
Additional comments, Commissioners? Ms. Myers, you call the roll on that motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
And now on the ordinance.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That ordinance is passed. That concludes our agenda. We'll turn to our city manager for his report.
Good evening, Commissioners, audience, and staff. First, I have a donation for the Sandusky Rec Department. Would like to thank David Stedman for the $500 donation to the Red Popcorn Wagon Fund. The donation was given in the name of Lynn Nota Grothwall Stedman and will be deposited into the endowment account for the wagon. If I can have a motion for that.
So moved.
A motion and a second discussion. I think there's been a second. There's been a second.
Yeah.
Without objection, that motion will be approved. Hearing no objection, we're going to approve that motion with our thanks for the $500.
Second is an in-kind donation of flags for the Veterans Park. It was received from the Erie County Veterans Commission. It's a $559 in-kind value. If I get a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Without objection, that motion will be approved. Hearing no objection, that motion is approved with our thanks for those flags.
The next part of my report is for Public Works on the Columbus Avenue, and I would be remiss if I didn't let Director Klein share his announcement.
So through the Commission President, that road right now is currently scheduled to open before the weekend. So we're hoping that the contractor can do that work. Tomorrow they're looking to mill the pavement, including Lane Street. and then they're going to pave on Wednesday, and they're looking to stripe on Friday. Hopefully, we're pushing them to see if they can possibly move that up to Thursday, but that's, they're already scheduled to do that work elsewhere. What I can say is that the sidewalks will remain closed because we do not have the handrail. That's not expected in until July. The lift station will still be, we're still looking for equipment for that as well. But the temporary lift station that's out there will make sure that the stormwater that collects down on the bottom of that underpass is collected and removed so that it is safe. In the meantime, until it's completely open before the weekend, traffic will still be one-way northbound for everybody, so please don't go southbound in there until you see no more barrels. So.
Okay.
Mr. Glenn.
And the Planning Division, on behalf of the Public Arts and Culture Commission, is seeking City Commission approval to apply for the 2023 Bloomberg Philanthropies Asphalt Art Initiative Grant to fund a mural project at the Hayes Ave underpass. This gateway in the city has been identified as a priority for beautification and pedestrian safety improvements in the public art and placemaking plan, the Sandusky Neighborhood Initiative, and the South Side Plan. Bloomberg Philanthropies will award $25,000 grants to 20 cities across the UA, Canada, and Mexico in 2023. There is no matching fund requirements for this grant. I'd like a motion to ask to allow the Planning Division to apply for the 2023 Bloomberg Philanthropies Asphalt Art Initiative Grant.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion. Great idea. I go through Mansfield and Bucyrus a lot, and I'm always amazed at their murals. I hope that this can be contagious, can be something that we can find other flat surfaces to do it on. Very, very meaningful and great idea. Additional comments, Commissioners? Without objection, that motion be approved. Hearing no objection, that motion.
And the last is 2 more vinyl murals have been installed, one at 301 East Market Street and the other at 246 East Market Street. This program is produced and funded by the Public Arts and Culture Commission as part of their 2022 work plan. 2 more murals will be installed in the coming weeks for a total of 6 installations downtown. They are expected to remain in place for 2 to 5 years. We encourage you to visit them to learn more about each artwork and artist. That'll conclude my report for this evening. Take any questions.
Your comments to the city manager? If not, we'll move to items of old business. Any items of old business? Items of new business. Any items of new business, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Waddington.
I'd like to take on item 2 tonight when we approve the agreement, the sewer agreement. Looks like it's going to be all wrapped up to transfer the $125,000 in for transit operations. So I'd like to make a motion for that transit funds for transit operations, the $125,000.
Second.
Got a motion and a second discussion.
Say it again, where's this money coming from?
This is the $125,000 that was in the negotiated deal with the county. That's $125,000 a year for 10 years that we received from the county to be spent at the discretion of this commission.
Thank you.
Additional comments or questions, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Murray.
I'm just glad to say we have a start of the county funding transit. It's important. We'll need to expand it from there as we go forward, but it's a good start.
Ms. Myers, will you poll the commission on that motion?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Brady?
Yes.
Mr. Bajali?
Yes.
Mr. Waddington?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Meinzer?
Yes.
Mr. Poole?
Yes.
That motion is passed. Additional items of new business. Mr. Waddington, I know that you and a few of us were at Kids Fest this weekend. Your comments regarding its success, it looked very successful to me.
I was very fatigued or tired. It was a long day doing.
I saw you dragging a bag around.
Yeah, trash man for the day. Yeah, we had, I think, close to 3,000 throughout the day. They got a little clicker. When we check in, we got a lot of canned goods for care and share. I know I saw Commissioner Meisner, Murray, yourself, and Mr. Bajali. I could have missed Blake. He could have been, I didn't see a lot.
A lot of people there.
Yeah, a lot of people, but good turnout. And I think finally got some decent weather. I've been down there when it's rained and cold and blowing, and so that was a nice day. A little cool, but good day, good dinner.
Our thanks certainly go out to the Whiteman Weaver Foundation. They have spent decades now finding ways to leverage dollars from a tragic event to the betterment of not just Sandusky, but the entire community. So our thanks certainly goes out to them. They have certainly been a steadfast anchor in this community as far as making a big difference. So our thanks certainly goes out to them.
Mr. Chairman, that, by the way, that was our 20th year. That's, time just flies by.
Kids Fest.
Yeah, 20 years.
Mr. Chairman, I also attended. It's always a nice event. And I always know where to find Mr. Waddington. He's down there by all the dead sheep head.
I thought you were going to say the waffle truck.
No. French fries.
Yeah. Additional items of new business. If not, we will go to the public comment section on any item that pertains to city business. Please step to the podium, share with us your name and address and your comments.
Nancy Birch, 105 West Water Street, Unit 2A. I would just like to ask that as you go into the planning for the hotel, that you consider with all of your parking garage, residential, like a designated section for residential parking. I think we're not against paying for parking. With every event, with every new thing that happens, with every construction, we're kind of tossed to the side. And, it is busier downtown all the time. And I recognize I live downtown. I should know I have parking issues. But we also have a person in my building who is disabled. He's had polio, and it's getting continually worse as he ages. And even with like Bike Week, all of our handicap parking is taken away. And we understand there's inconveniences at different times, but if you're putting a parking garage in, we've been paying for our passes, every year. But I think it wouldn't be beyond a designated area in the parking. Even when, there's something happening at the theater or something, I'm parking like 2 miles away at 10 o'clock at night. And it's not just me, there's a lot of people. You want more residential downtown, and parking's been an issue. So I'm just asking that you might consider some designated parking for residents. And also, I'd like to know if there's any information about, I gave Mr. Klein some photographs, I don't know if you saw them, of the Hayes Ave underpass. I walk a lot, and I took pictures of the steel I-beams under there, and it looks like Swiss cheese. And so I realize it's Norfolk and Southern, but are all the, as we're going along, it looks really nice when you go through the Hayes Ave underpass. The walls look very nice, but if you would walk through there and take a look at that, I only used my phone camera. If you had real lighting up there to see it, I think you'd be really shocked at how deteriorated that is. And I don't know if you've heard anything, like whether
I don't mean to speak for Mr. Klein, but I did have a conversation this week regarding, he's communicated twice now to Norfolk and Southern. No response at all. Not surprising. We're going, I think every city's going through the same situation.
would it work to put something in like some journalists on it in the newspapers to kind of, put some pressure on whoever, whether it's our transportation departments or someone. I gather that every community that has older trestles, and they don't even do that anymore, everything goes over they always build over rather than go under now.
Yeah.
But
Our
it's,
most receptive voice, it seems to have been Marcy Kaptur. I think it's not a bad idea to reach out to her, say we're getting a cold shoulder again, but that's an issue. And I've done as you have, I've looked up there, and it is startling. It's unfortunate
yeah,
that it's, in some respect, it's unfortunate that it's not our responsibility. Because if it was, we'd find a way to take care of it.
yeah.
But we
I mean, if there's accidents that happen because of it, it is all of our responsibility at
Sure,
that
I
point.
agree.
So, I mean, I don't know where you go with it, but there has to be somebody that's going to answer or have some responsibility for that. And it's kind of frightening if you look at it, really.
Commissioner Waddington.
Could you pass some pictures you showed me prior to tonight's meeting to the city manager? Maybe we could send them out, because they were really eye-openers, I thought. That's the first time that I had seen them, so.
Yeah.
You can send them to John.
Literally looks like Swiss cheese, some of those major beams that are going across there. So I know they overbuild it, I know it's supposed to be really sturdy, but, with all the stuff that's happening and the trains that are going all over the place, I just thought maybe we could take a good look at it. Thank you.
Keep pressing.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Poole.
do we have a copy of or know when the last time that bridge was, underpass was inspected?
Mr. Klein.
Any idea?
Through the commission president, I've asked for those inspection reports. They're supposed to be inspected on an annual basis. City manager and I spoke with some people high up within Norfolk Southern and told them that we would be passing on the pictures, and this was maybe 2 months ago, and I've emailed them a couple times in addition to the 3 or 4 people prior to that I've emailed and asked for those bridge inspection reports, and I just can't get them, and I can't get a response, so.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, and the reason here's where I'm going with this. The Norfolk Southern is never going to work with us on anything. Somebody at the federal level is above them, is responsible for that. And I think we should at least send the pictures and make the request and make it aware that we're unhappy with it and express that they won't give them to you. I'll give you the inspection reports. I don't know if you're entitled to them or not, but I do know that I don't want the federal government claiming that they didn't know nothing about it because we didn't tell them when there's a catastrophe there. And I think we should at least do that for the committee. We need to go on record with whatever agency's responsible.
Sure.
And let's see how much what happens then. There's been enough train wrecks and problems that may get somebody's attention.
With a try. Additional public comments on any item?
Mr. Chairman, perhaps Mr. Klein could also send those pictures to Matt Dietrich of the Director of the Ohio Rail Commission. Just one more avenue that maybe we can touch on to see if we can get some results.
Contacts from your former employment are now paying off.
Well, I don't know about that, especially when you're dealing with the railroad.
There are no further public comments. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.